Good morning, folks. It's 7:38 a.m. on the 29th day, 7th month, 2021. Right, this morning I'd like to have a look at China and the flooding of their dam, or a dam geoengineer flood, if you will. And do I see a geoengineer storm here on the 24th? This is before its main landfall? Absolutely. If you look over here, look at all the chem that's going to funnel in and feed this. Look how this just kind of bends in. It doesn't funnel around. Like a nice toilet flush. But when your weather is shit, something's backed up. Right. Chem bombs, chem bomb, chem bomb. Deployments of some chemical catalyst here. Right, to see the shadows of these two. See the shadow of that one, see the shadow of that one. That'll do our sun determinant angle. Right. Black chemtrails, and they're not in the way that shadow should be on this satellite pass. We know we have some other thing beside a shadow out there, right? We have shadow government instead. Lots of microwaves in place to put the energy for this storm to feed off of. Lots of, because microwaves will create outflow and electrical potential inside wires, if you will. And these are like a big wire full of metal, a very visible cloud wire, if you will. When I look into the center, I don't see it devoid of clouds. I don't see it perfectly circular. I see square forms. I see square forms. I see chem bomb deployment here in a square. This is not a naturally occurring, beautifully clear hurricane eye or a cyclone eye. And I've been through the eyes of hurricanes, and I've stood and I've watched, and believe me, they can be quite clear. And birds flying around in them and everything. Yeah. So here you can see off the coast of Taipei here in Taiwan. Because Taipei's up at the north. You see all this chem bombs. And this just funnels in and feeds. They're the catalyst or the food, if you will, for. Now as I go into another day, anybody from New Zealand watching, hang in there. I got to show you guys yourselves today. This again over Taipei. They've back sprayed the storm, and usually then they'll apply microwaves down here to force a wind to go up into it to keep this circle going around and hit a few squares. Square here, and these each one will push in its direction of square. So there, and you can keep a rotation going. Even if the center of the storm low pressure changes, you can still push a storm around over land, like those lando in the States. And anybody's been following recently, you see these evenly spaced deployments of a chemical catalyst or chem bombs. Something came along in a line here and has deployed chem bombs. Boom, 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 boom. This one here is boom, and it seems to be streamering in a different direction, going that way. This is going that way. Microwaves will do that. Boom, boom. Outflow boundaries. Hot flows toward cold. Think about it like that. That's just how it works. Learn Boyle's laws of gases. There's Charles's laws. And you'll understand a few ways that things can predictably move. Right now my bowels are predictably moving looking at this shit in the sky. And this is 2 days before landfall, and everybody's all worried about that dam in China bursting. Well, it is at high risk. They just defended a huge storm on the 14th. And all that water still had to rush downriver. And about the time that crested rid of some of it, here comes this. And it's going to be a line sustained event. There's more chem feeding this storm on the 25th into the path towards China. It has the ability to stop this. They do. They could hit this with microwaves and kill this storm. They hit it right here, dead center, just right, equalize the pressures, and this is done. And they do that, but they're choosing not to. Why? Depopulation's going on. They got to get rid of a whole bunch of their people too. And a flood is an easy way to do it. So get food prices to go up. You know, those shortages, and there's a lot of food growing around here. Ever hear that saying, for all the rice in China? Well, storms like this can destroy most of the rice in China. And where are they going to get it from then? They're going to buy up yours, so you can't have it. Louisiana, did you get your rice fields destroyed too this year? You absolutely did. Alabama, you did too. I was watching how they use geoengineering to destroy food. Yeah. It's another ownership of us. Look at the hexagonalness to this. Straight here, kind of straight here, here, here. Since when is a circulation a hexagon? Unless you're spinning a stop sign in your finger. Right? You see what I'm saying here? Geoengineering says that this can happen. Natural weather says it can't. Look at the individual microwaves that flattened it out. Burst here, burst here. The Chinese have the most geoengineering methods in the world. Much more subtle than NATO. NATO is very forceful with their microwaves, and I find that China is a lot more subtle. I think they know the harm, and so they use less if possible. As little as possible, excuse me. To cause as little harm as possible to their people. But to the rest of the world, come on, who do you think they want to own the world? Every country seems to want itself to run the world. And meanwhile, and everybody else doesn't want somebody else to run their world. But meanwhile, these chembombs are running this storm over the top of people that seem to be bent on running the world. And well, they could just run off a cliff as far as I'm concerned with that attitude. It's not very kind. Cooperation is a way forward, of course. But, copying it all the time, ululations, is not very nice. Or copy ululations. We're all ululating there, that little wobbler in the back of the throat. Look at the chem shit. It's like they need it. This storm is over land now. It doesn't need to keep being fed with chem bombs unless it's being done on purpose. Right? This for all intents and purposes, with the center of this circulation over ocean water, this should dissipate. But geoengineering has come a long way how to reproduce the conditions that form natural weather systems. Then we are reproducing this. They're fucking with the weather. They're copulating the planet. And we're copying it. Look at these chem bombs here. Obvious geoengineering deployment. And this will be the last full day's image that I have, I think. Unless another satellite pass has occurred. Just take that in. Take it in. We have to stop this. We have to figure out how to stop this Paris Accords. This is all the time. Every country in the world. And another country that absolutely copped it today is New Zealand. New Zealand, oh my God. And here we go. I'm going to show. Welcome to Auckland. Streamers of death over the top of the North Island of New Zealand. Beautiful island. Rugged coastlines here. Absolutely black sand beach I got to see here. Notice how that's in a straight line. It's not like this is randomly streaming from everywhere. This is an outflow boundary. This is a place where they decided the separation must occur for a rotation to happen after this comes over the top of the island. Great big line chemtrail here. Most of the action is over to your western side. See over here, Nelson? Poisoning you guys. Poisoning you. Toxic air is over the top of New Zealand today. Geoengineering is more than just a proposal. It's going on. They're acting like they are allowed to do what's proposed in the Paris Accords, and they've been acting like they've been allowed to do it since they proposed this indecent proposal. And right, decent situation over the top of Maiwanua, over here in the North Island. Look at that big square of energy over you. That's not good for that volcano, is it? No, it is not. There's this big square of energy streamer in here, causing rotations. Are you guys getting some floods today? Or is it just all microwave energy? Are you feeling like shit? Look at these squares of energy over the top of you. Well, it might be a mountain under here causing that triangle. So I won't read too much into that other than that. Try not to read too much into anything. I just try to describe what I see. And what I see here is a shit show. What I see here is poisoning of trees, poisoning of water, poisoning of people, sickening their lungs. So possibly they're going to be said they have a case of something that's going to lock an entire country down. Right? Rather than lock down the minds of the idiots and the minds of the politicians pushing protocol politic like does not represent the represented. You see what I'm saying? What does this represent to you? To me, it represents the death of my planet. It represents that it's more important to control all of humanity, and by proxy, here gets controlled. Everything here gets owned. All of us here. We need to take a step back, take big, good, long looks at ourselves. The world is burning. My stomach is churning. And well, how much more are we going to be able to sit idly by while we watch Mother Nature die? That is all.